Hello and welcome to the Video Sportsbook. Today is September 24th, Friday, 2001. Today we're going to be discussing some of our plays that we have going for the weekend. In particular, we're going to be discussing the Buccaneers games, the Buccaneers versus the Rams game. It's going to be a great game. Uh, Buccaneers at Rams, they're going to be playing in LA at Rams Stadium. Both teams are 2 and 0. So I'm expecting this to be a very, very intense, close game. Um, it's very hard to do a 3 0 streak in football. So both teams are playing exceptionally well. Uh, Tom Brady, I mean, he's the man. He's the GOAT, the best of all time. He's still playing at the highest performance level that he can. I mean, I love Tom Brady. He's been a great player for me. I think he's a winner, and I think he's the greatest player to ever play the game. The quarterback he's going against is Jared Goff. He's a wonderful player too. I mean, he's actually getting a lot better. He's had great games this season, and he's looking really good this year. Two big things I also too like to look at is the head coaching. Sean McVay. This always was interesting to me is how old he is. He became a Rams head coach at the age of 30, and it's just so funny to me. At the age of 30, I was like, barely at a basic job, and this guy was a head coach. But he seems like a cool guy. He seems very obviously young and hip to some of the younger players. That's going to make a great connection. And it's probably a great place to play. So I think, in LA with a young coach and they're building a good squad, I think the Rams' morale is very high, and I think they're playing good football. The same could be said, though, for the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers' head coach is Bruce Arians. Uh, Surprisingly looks like a fun guy. When I look at coaches, there's different styles and different techniques, and I think with Brady coming off that Belichick system off those years, I think he's looking for something that's a lot more relaxed and a lot more fun. And I think that was the same for Gronk. I think they're having a lot of fun down there where they're at. Their locations are very fun area. Obviously, Florida. I think Brady has some family ties out there, something along that line. But obviously, good weather, fun. There's a lot to do in Florida. There's Miami, great beaches, obviously. So I think that was a big point of Tom Brady's moving over there. We'll discuss that a little bit later in the video, but right now I want to go over the scores and odds for this game. This is going to be a very, very close game. The thing about I like about scores and odds is that they actually have Vegas numbers. They have the Caesars Sportsbook. They have everything. So the spread is -1. That's a close game. That's a flip of a quarter. Some places have it 1.5. Of course, you can buy that half point down. And then the over under on this is still at 55. I mean, it's going to be a high scoring game. I'd take that 55. 55 is, yeah, I would definitely take that over. So if you could take the spread on Tampa Bay is favored. Personally, my pick is for the Rams. I would take the Rams money line. Get that good. Well, let's see what they have. Oh, it's the same amount, but I would still take the Rams money line. That way, you don't have to get screwed up in any type of point system. But just take the Rams for the money line. Just my play for the day. But the Buccaneers are favored. So that's the spread. One thing I did want to talk about before we go is two things. Players that are going to be out, of course, Antonio Brown's out right now. He's out with a COVID protocol. And they also have Daryl Henderson out for the Rams. So that's another big factor. He's a running back. It appears that he got injured. So those are two big injury reports that are going to be effective with the game. And then the last thing to circle back around from what I was talking about earlier, coaches are such a big factor in football. In other sports, I don't think, but in football, definitely I would say the coaches are very important. The Bill Belichick system seems very rigid, very tough. I mean, here's a photo of him smiling, but it's very rare that the guy actually smiles. He's notorious for having a grumpy, bad attitude. And the truth of the matter is what was said was that Bill Belichick was forcing Tom Brady out for pasture. That he didn't believe in Tom Brady and he thought that his numbers were going to decrease and that he was essentially going to be less of a quarterback than he was the previous years. So obviously, despite him, I believe that Tom Brady did what he did, went to the Buccaneers, and he brought Gronk over, and the rest is history. Look what he did last season. So it's another vindication for Tom Brady. I have just heard this story, and the story I personally watched came from Tom Brady's father. So this is from Tom Brady's father, not anybody else. Um, So just an interesting piece of information, and it also shows how important coaching is in football. All right, everybody, have a good day and good luck. Peace.